To fight crime, Miami-Dade may deploy blanket surveillance from the air. By Douglas Hanks. D. Hanks at MiamiHerald.com. Miami-Dade police may deploy sophisticated aerial surveillance capable of photographing everyone outside for 32 square miles in an effort to track vehicles and individuals involved in crimes. The proposal, first reported by the Miami New Times, would send a surveillance plane high above high-crime neighborhoods to film everything below. According to Lieutenant Juan Villalba Jr. already used in Baltimore, the technology lets police pull footage after a crime occurs and try to recreate where the perpetrators came from on their way to the scene and where they fled to afterward. It's kind of like a DVR, Villalba said, referring to playing back television shows hours after they air. This will allow us to go back and look at what happened. Already used in Baltimore and other cities, the technology has helped spark a national debate on civil liberties as it pushes the edge of what's possible now in mass surveillance. The camera system tracks how the U.S. pursued suicide bombers in Iraq, and the American Civil Liberties Union has called it terrifying for the potential to record every citizen's movement when he or she is visible from the sky. This is not the way to adopt public policy. No system of surveillance should be put into place until it is first established that there is a need which the system addresses, and that there are protections in place for the privacy of the people of Miami-Dade County, the ACLU's Florida said in a statement Thursday from Executive Director Howard Simon. Until these protections for the rights and privacy of the people of Miami-Dade County are put into place, the grant request should be withdrawn. With increasingly cheaper surveillance cameras already mounted on lampposts, buildings, traffic lights, and homes throughout Miami-Dade, not to mention the prevalence of cell phone footage, the sophisticated aerial surveillance arrives at a time when people are used to being recorded when they leave home. You have no expectation of privacy when you walk outside, said Carlos Jimenez, mayor of Miami-Dade. I have no expectation of privacy in my backyard. Jimenez's administration is asking the county commission for retroactive approval of requests for federal grant money that could total $1.2 million in order to run tests on the surveillance system. Police officials said they didn't have time to seek board approval for the grant request before the application deadline. A private contractor out of Ohio, Persistent Surveillance Systems, operates the planes and analyzes the footage under contracts with police and other agencies. In Baltimore, the program sparked extra controversy because it started in secret. A nonprofit, the Baltimore Community Support Program, hired Persistent Surveillance to run the flights and share information with police. The group's website advertises it can help with a range of crimes, including auto thefts and illegal dumping. Advocates note the current technology limits people to pixelated blurs on the footage. Police can tell people are there and try to track them to an address, but not what a person looks like. We wouldn't be able to identify the race or the gender of the person, Villalba said. Pursuing the grant money is Miami-Dade's first step in a process that would lead to future votes on establishing a permanent aerial surveillance program, including inviting companies to bid on the contract and a commission vote to award it. With Miami-Dade spanning nearly 2,000 square miles, a surveillance plane flying 25,000 feet in the air would need to focus its cameras on a small piece of it at one time to capture footage within its 32-mile viewing field. That's likely to put some of Miami-Dade's poorest neighborhoods under heavy surveillance while more affluent areas are ignored. County police plan to deploy the surveillance in high-crime areas, which tend to be neighborhoods with lower incomes. We're going to have to focus the technology on the areas and neighborhoods that the statistics show are experiencing high crime rates, Villalba said.
A murder unfold. Look at the cursor toward the bottom. In an instant, the suspect approaches, fires, the victim's down, the killer sprints off. This 2009 gangland shooting in Juarez, Mexico was captured from 10,000 feet, about 2 miles up.
You can see a whole group of people here reacting to the shot. They come over and look at the victim, and then they run down the alleyway, actually after the shooter.
From their specially equipped Cessnas, Ross McNutt and his firm persistent surveillance systems can monitor large sections of cities. Because they're in the air for hours at a time, they can track back to the moment of a crime and before it. In Juarez,
they meet up 3 to 4 times prior to the murder, including one time right outside the murder scene.
In the moments afterward,
we actually can follow all of the cars, so we're actually going to jump over and follow the car that the shooter got into and see where he goes to.
They tie in a Google Earth Street View image to show police the house where the suspect went to hide. McNutt's team helped police make arrests in that shooting.
We've actually witnessed 34 murders so far, and we actually have confessions that account for 75.
Also in Juarez, McNutt's team captured the murder of a female police officer circled in red. You dread it as you see her unable to outrun her killers.
She was shot 6 times in the head and shoulders, and we literally watch her run into this parked car here.
McNutt says they can pick out suspects by looking for strange behavioral patterns. Right after murders, the suspects in Juarez, he says, like many others,
they drive like idiots, running red lights, swerving around people.
McNutt's team has monitored other high-crime cities, Compton, California, Philadelphia, Baltimore. They can replicate their operations center in Dayton, Ohio, anywhere. In a typical operation, law enforcement officers will sit in this area monitoring a police scanner. When a call comes in that a crime's been committed, these analysts immediately start to track back when and where it occurred. And sometimes they can catch up to a suspect in real time. Dayton, 2012. They get word of a burglary, track the suspect in the white truck as he's getting away, and direct police right to him. Dayton's police chief says the technology's helped his depleted force.
Allows us to gain data on criminal offenses for which there often are not witnesses, and clearly police officers are not there to prevent.
But privacy advocates say this smacks of Big Brother.
They might have actually crossed a line. This creates the opportunity after the fact to look at anybody for any reason.
We're responding in support of law enforcement to reported crimes only.
And, McNutt says, they closely monitor their own analysts to make sure they're only tracking suspects.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.